Hey there, it's Mel C, and this is the Six Figure Chicks podcast. Quick, powerful conversations with women making six figures and beyond. It's a real talk, big wins, and no fluff. Just 15 minutes to get inspired and get you on the go. Together we rise, together we change lives. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Six Figure Chicks. And I'm so delighted. I am actually joined by a fellow Six Figure Chicks author from Scottsdale Volume 2, Lily Brezler. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, so let the audience know a little bit about your awesomeness.
Thank you. So my name is Lily Brezler with Strategic Staffing Associates. I help small to mid-sized businesses to grow by connecting them with exceptional talent. And I've been doing this on and off for about 15 years. I work with roles for anything from sales to the C-suite, but my passion is building teams that thrive by finding that exceptional talent to join their team. And I really look at hard skills, soft skills, along with culture fits in order to make that placement last.
That's awesome. I know how challenging it can be to find quality people. So
Absolutely.
that's what we live and breathe by. Delegate that to other people.
Yes. I love
Okay.
to partner with hiring leaders. So
yeah, I mean, and we all deserve that extra help. So before we get started and kind of like the business side, let's give something fun that not a lot of people know about you.
So one thing is that I'm a singer. Some people may know it, but I do love to sing. I was in a band many years ago. Right now, I sing in the Veritas band at my church. So we are on mics and we have a great time worshiping.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. You heard it here first. So your side gig could be singing at some club. So
Right.
watch out.
Yep. Maybe someday.
That's great. Okay, so I always talk about like with business and or personal, there's always roadblocks that we face. So kind of what's been a roadblock or a challenge that you faced in your business?
So one thing, I come from a corporate recruiting background, and a defining challenge that I faced is finding my internal voice, really allowing my authentic self. Sometimes it's hard when you're working in an ultra conservative working environment. And so I struggled with that. But as I've gotten a little bit older and a little more experience, and since starting my own staffing business, I've realized that that really helps me to be my authentic self because it allows me to connect with people. It puts people's guards down. It helps me to build those relationships faster. And in the end, it's really helped my business to be more successful.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a trust factor, right? Like people come to you not because of your product or service, but because of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do need to do the work, but getting them in the door and making them trust is really important.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, like, so I mentioned earlier that you're in one of the Six Figure Chicks books, one of our most recent books, Scottsdale Volume 2, where you did let the walls down. You were probably as, authentic and real as you have been nowhere else because this is like, okay, we're letting it all out. What we do sometimes in the books is like, kind of, what would you tell your younger self? So thinking back on that, what would be like one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Probably tell myself that to give yourself more grace and going back to that being authentic piece, allowing people to get to know you. One thing that I've learned is listening more than I talk. I really, as a recruiter, we ask a lot of questions, and I'm a very curious person. So it's always more fun to listen to people's stories and hear what got them to this point in their career and see, how I can help them to take that next step.
I love that. So like thinking back on when you're talking to clients, what's like one thing that you can give them to kind of stand out of the other 100 other companies people may be wanting to work for?
That's a great question. I would say really take an interest in your hiring process. My most successful placements have been with hiring leaders that understand and take the time for the hiring process, although I'll do a lot of the heavy lifting for them and I have processes in place that streamline it so that, it can be a time consuming thing that takes them away from their duties. So I like to serve as a partner for them. And I found that when hiring leaders are engaged, we're doing our weekly check-ins, they're getting feedback to me quickly on candidate submittals, that the process flows much more smoothly. The other piece I would say is like I said, I love building teams. So really digging in with me in our initial consult and as the client and I get to know each other better, really understanding the culture, the environment, the expectations, that goes a long way.
Yeah, most definitely. So when you are working with your clients, like what's the timeline on an average, great hire that you can give?
It varies. It can be anywhere from, so I do sales to the C-suite. So a leadership role will take a little bit longer process. We set those boundaries and everything in the beginning of our
Mhm.
hiring process. So there are no surprises. However, we're dealing with people, so there's always surprises. Mostly good surprises, but I would say, just making sure that we set it up ahead of time and get that understanding that, we're going to get that right person in place.
Yeah, most definitely. I love how you talk a lot about communication, having the meetings with your clients, and that is so important to keep everyone in the loop with what's going on.
Mhm. Yeah, it's important. And then knowing what the interview process will be with the hiring leaders, who's going to be involved in that interview process.
Are you involved with them in the interview process, or do you kind of take a back seat?
I do the initial screen and then I hand it over to sometimes some of my clients have internal recruiters that I partner with.
Mm.
Oftentimes I work with small to mid-sized businesses that do not have their own recruiters. So I'm as involved as they will allow me to be. I'm always there for advice. I'm always there to walk them through interview processes. Some clients have more experience than others in hiring, so I'm happy to help coach hiring leaders and help them to prepare for the entire process. But usually I work with leaders that have had experience in hiring, but I will help for sure.
Yeah, and that's the great part. Like what I'm getting from, what you've talked about is like, gosh, we don't have to do it all by ourselves. As
No,
business owners, we can ask for help. We can hire extra experts in that field to do parts of our business without having to really bring on a full-time person just for XYZ projects or tasks.
absolutely. I mean, it's an investment, but it's an investment in your team. And I have 15 plus years of experience in hiring in corporate. And now that I've founded and operated my own business for a little bit over 3 years now, I've had even more experience delving in and working through that entire process.
Yeah, I love it. And being able to just give people back time
Yeah,
and just assurance that you're going to be there to help guide them through the whole process, just make it easier on them. And,
absolutely.
just because we own businesses does not mean that we know how to do things like finding the right candidates. And I mean, I know I've gone through a handful of assistants or bookkeepers just trying to find the right one that's for me.
hmm Yeah, and it needs to be a match. I mean, and I work on both sides. I try to. I call myself the corporate matchmaker.
Mhm.
I try to make sure that I have that great match between the candidate and the client, and everyone's happy. And then I'm happy when I make that fit. And it makes me even more happy when I have repeat clients and those candidates that stick for years and years and years and will call me and say, "Oh, I'm still here," or they'll call me if they shift roles or, get laid off in any way, shape, or form, like I have in my career. We've all been at some point in reduction of forces and all of those things. So, yeah, I still need to learn the part of asking for help in my business. At
Right.
times, at
Yeah.
times.
Like it's never ending because as your business grows, so does your level of support that you need. Um,
Absolutely.
because when we start our businesses, we usually wear all the hats.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
we do have to constantly remind ourselves it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've been asking. I'm like, Mel, help me. Help me. Over here.
Yeah. So you heard it here first. Like if you're a business owner, that you have some open seats, you're having trouble hiring qualified individuals, you're tired of interviewing 50 people and getting hundreds of resumes.
Mhm.
Like I know how it is. You just get stockpiled with every single person, no matter what.
Yeah. I weed through those fairly quickly through, different forms of technology. And I have processes in place that I remember one of my coworkers would say, "How are you hiring these people so quickly?" I hired a leadership team at one of the companies that I worked with. And it's just about really digging in deep and connecting and listening. Listening is a big thing.
Mm, yes. So definitely connect with Lily if you'd like to know more. Like if you're in a pinch, stop. Like just ask for help. The worst thing somebody can do is tell you no, which she won't do. But I always like saying that of like, ask for whatever you want knowledge
Yeah,
on. Um,
exactly.
yeah, right. So, okay. And just a few minutes left on the episode. Let's turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
And share with the listeners what is your favorite song? Like maybe you get in a pickle of like, oh, I'm so stressed or I have so much to do. Let's turn it on and get back in the mood.
So one of my favorite songs, it's an older one, but it's called "Put Your Hands Up" by Macklemore.
Uh-huh.
There's a line in it that goes, "And the ceiling can hold us, and the ceiling can hold us." A little bit of my singing.
Yeah.
But I love that. It just gets me pumped up before I'm making sales calls or before an important meeting. Oftentimes we're on Zoom. I do a lot of in-person calls as well. I have an office in Fountain Hills, so I just like to try to get myself a little energetic so that a main one of my values is having fun. So we want to have fun while we're doing this, right?
Yeah, most definitely. And I really do know that like the music can really have an effect on us. And then outwardly to the people that we're talking to, they're like, oh my gosh, Lily, she's always in a great mood. I want to be around her. I want to do business with her.
I try. I try.
I love it. Okay, so before we wrap it up, how can people find you online? What's the best way? We will share it in the show notes, but for our listeners now.
So, best way to probably reach me would be LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn a lot. That's my primary social platform. So, just under my first and last name, Lily Brezler. And then Instagram, I do have a Strategic Staffing Associates Instagram page. And then I have my other page, which is Lily Brez. I utilize both of those. Facebook, my phone number, which is 717-991-5853. I still have my Pennsylvania 717, even though I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll never give that up. And my office is located in Fountain Hills, right beside the Chamber of Commerce. It's 13235 North Verde River Drive, and I'm in Lucky Suite number 7.
Yeah. So if you're in Fountain Hills, you know where the chamber's at. You know where Betsy Lavoy and her crew are at. So
We
she's
love
right next
Betsy.
door. Yeah.
And Christian and all the
Yeah.
girls.
Yes. All the six-figure chicks.
Yeah,
You're just like me. I have an 808 number still from
you do.
Hawaii.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't ever get that up.
No, it's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
Everybody has their numbers from everywhere across the country, so
Yeah. That, or, they think I'm spam.
that's true. That's true. We do need to avoid that.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. Lily even shared some of her singing talents. Go check her out at the church. And thank you so much, Lily, for being on.
Thank you, Mel. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, right back at you. And please connect with Lily. Like, even if you don't have a staffing need, she's an amazing resource and always a positive being to be surrounded by. So,
Well, thank you. You too.
yeah.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mel. All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you so
have
much. So together we rise, together we change lives.
lives. Yes.